I recently came back from a 5-week trip in Thailand where the premise of my trip was twofold. First, I tried to stay away from touristy spots as much as possible and kind of stay off the beaten path during my trip. The second thing was that I just went wherever the wind took me. So during the trip, I didn't plan anything. I didn't even know where I was going to sleep every day. And I just went wherever the wind blew and wherever the experiences took me. These two guidelines made for me an incredibly special trip. So in this video I'm gonna share the 6 best experiences I had that are off the beaten path. Those are places that you usually don't find tourists in, you don't see them in the books, you rarely see them online, and I hope that it'll make anyone watching either just wanna go to Thailand or experience Thailand in a more profound and insightful way. 2 things before I begin. First, these experiences are from all around Thailand. They're not built in a certain chronological manner or in any way that is an itinerary. It's just sporadic experiences from around Thailand that I personally really enjoyed. So I'll try and provide information for the best of my capabilities in the description below. So if you want to go to any of those places, you can see all the details there. Okay, let's begin. Before I arrived to Thailand, everyone told me to stay away from Phuket. They said that's where you see all the unwanted sides of Thailand, some obscure ping pong shows and hookers and elderly Western guys walking around with Thai teenagers, which just looks just horrible. Now, this is all true if you go to the more touristy place of Phuket called Patong. Luckily, my friend Boris, who was with me at that time during my trip, and I were in a different and distant part of Phuket. So Phuket is Thailand's largest island. It's located in the south of Thailand, and the place where Boris and I stayed was called Phuket Town. That's like the old town of Phuket. And funnily enough, this place turned out to be one of my favorite places in all of Thailand, despite everything that I was told about it beforehand. In one of the evenings we stayed there, we met a couple of locals who took us around some pubs and bars in that area. One of those places was a club called The Library. The awesomeness of this place lies in the fact that I personally hate clubbing, and regardless, this turned out to be one of the most memorable nights of my trip. The club, just like its name, is designed as a library, which on its own is quite interesting. But the real experience is being in a club with the locals, seeing how Thai people go out. I will leave all the needed information in the description below, and I will just add that clubbing, just like many other experiences, is as good as the people you're with. And I encourage everyone to go there with the locals, but I'll expand more about it in just a second. Boys. Khao Mai Kyu is an extremely beautiful cave complex in the middle of the forest in the island of Koh Lanta, which is also in the south of Thailand. What's really special about this experience is how well it soaks you into it. The first thing is you cannot just enter the cave, you have to go with a guide, which already makes it feel in a way special. What is this cave that I cannot go in by myself and I have to go into only with a guide? The second thing is that even entering the cave is some sort of a journey. First you need to enter this forest. My friend Boris and I, we did it with our scooters and just driving around through all the people and villages that are in that forest, and then reaching the heart of this forest only to hike another hour to get to the cave. That was some sort of a warm-up that was a journey of its own. And lastly, the cave itself is just mesmerizing. It's completely dark, and it's only you, the people you're with, the guide, and a head torch. And at points, the rooms of the cave you're going in are as big as a cathedral, and at other times, you literally have to climb in between the narrowest holes to get your way through. And sometimes there are so many noises of water running around and bats flying above your head, and there are those crickets there that make the loudest noise. And at other times, you find yourself so deep in that cave that you hear absolutely nothing, and all of a sudden you're feeling like you're the only person in the world. And this entire experience, the feel it has around it and everything that builds you up into it, and just the cave itself, it's amazing. And again, all the information is in the description below. Wow, what the fuck? This one is more for the adventurous travelers. It requires some stamina and some guts. Koh Muk is a tiny island also in the south of Thailand. On the western part of that island, there's a beach called Charlie's Beach, in which you can rent a kayak. With your kayak, you need to sail north along the western edge of the island for about an hour. The farther north you go, the wavier the sea surface becomes. So first you need to be very careful, second you need to make sure that you know what you're doing, and third I highly recommend to also wear a life vest. After about an hour of sailing, you'll see a very thin opening in the mountains that are the edge of the island. You need to leave your kayak outside, take a deep breath, and start swimming in. Just swim in pitch darkness, you feel some things touching your legs, it's probably some fish and seaweed and any other sea vegetation or sea creatures. And after swimming for about 10 to 15 minutes, you reach the end of the tunnel and to what I would call the secret beach of Komuk. We were quite physically tired by that point, but that physical tiredness is what made this experience all the more incredible. I won't show too much footage of that place because it's just amazing, and I really want anyone who's interested to experience it for themselves. That's a very, very highly recommended thing to do. In every aspect, Bangkok is the city that is the most metropolitan in Thailand. Culturally, in terms of its design, architecturally, the people, and just the overall feeling when you're in that city. A lot of what I experienced of Thailand is kind of faded out in the hustle of that big city. It's very difficult to find an experience that feels authentically Thai there, but I think I found one such place in Bangkok. Yes, this is definitely a side of Bangkok I haven't seen yet. I'm not sure what the name of the area is, but it's very close to Prapok Bridge and the Princess Mother Memorial Park. You can see it on the map on the screen now, and I'll also add the Google Maps coordinates down below in the description. What's beautiful about this place is the only place in Bangkok I found that preserves some of the feel of Bangkok before it became a metropolitan. This place, the way it looks, the way it's designed, the way it feels, the way people treat themselves, and the way people treated me as a foreigner or a tourist walking around is entirely different than any other place I've been to in Bangkok. And just because of that, it's worth experiencing. In terms of one singular experience, the Mai Hong Son Loop was definitely the most memorable I had during my trip. The Mai Hong Son Loop is a 700-kilometer route rounding the northwestern tip of Thailand. It starts and ends in a city called Chiang Mai. It's most commonly done on a motorcycle, and that's also how I did it, and it takes a minimum of 4 days. The road you go through passes some of the most beautiful sceneries found in Thailand and in the most charming and special villages and towns. In the heat of the experience itself, I described it like this. It's practically an experience of all the senses. Sight, all those beautiful views around. Smell, I go through so many different sceneries. Each has such a distinct smell. I smell the fresh grass, I smell fruit. I smell the farmers when they burn their crops. For everyone who's trying to do something off the beaten path in Thailand, the Mai Hong Son, in my opinion, is an absolute must. But at the same time, it can be an incredibly dangerous experience. So make sure you're taking all the right precautions before you head out and do it. And on a more personal note, it seemed to me that in Thailand, people can rent bikes even without having a motorcycle license. If you don't have a motorcycle license, by all means do not rent a motorcycle, because the roads at points are extremely run down and tricky. And this is definitely not a child's game. The number one, most absolute and best experience I had in Thailand is without a shred of doubt the people I met along the way and the bonds I formed with the locals. When traveling off the beaten path, and even just in general in life, this element of meeting new people always stays true. The people are what makes the experience worthwhile, but there was something about Thailand for me that took it to a different level. humble opinion, I found Thai people to be extremely nice and open people. Every time I was walking on the streets and met eyes with anyone, their first reaction would be to immediately greet me with a smile. If you ask for help or strike up a conversation with someone, they would always answer you with the utmost respect and kindness and desire to make you feel wanted and welcome and helped. And I can't even count the amount of times that we were treated to extra drinks and extra food, or just those small perks of kindness that the Thai people gave us and me, just because we were becoming friends. So for me, the number one experience when traveling off the beaten path in Thailand is the experience of the locals. But receiving the kindness and openness of others, especially in their own country, requires us to be respectful and kind and open first. And that's something worth remembering. I documented every single day of my own 5-week trip in Thailand on my channel. If you're new to the channel or haven't watched it yet, then I'm inviting you to watch the entire series. I'll put a link in the card above and also in the description below. And I hope that series, as well as this video, will inspire you to visit the beautiful country of Thailand, and more than that, inspire you to just go off the beaten path, to seek some uncharted and unknown places. By all means, this is not a comprehensive list of things to do off the beaten path in Thailand, but I hope that for someone, it's a start. If you have any more questions, feel free to comment below, I'm there. And if you found any value in this video, then please like it and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you next week.